Hi. It's Stuart. Hi there. It's Stuart Fensterheim, the couples expert. I'm here in my backyard, just really enjoying the end of the week. I've been thinking a lot about this week. This week, basically, what we did is we talked a lot about how to really have your physical health really be important to you. Now, one of the things about this Facebook Live, just so all of you know, it's not going to be one where I'll be able to interact with all of you. And I usually like doing that, but I need to find a way. And if anyone has any ideas on this, it would be great. I'm using my iPhone as a camera. And the good camera is really on the flip side, because this is an iPhone 7 Plus. And I want to be able to interact, but in order to do that, I have to see what you're saying. So all the comments that you will be making, I will be sure to respond to at the end of the video. And these Facebook Lives that I'm doing, I just absolutely love. And I am sitting here in Arizona, and today, of all days, was 80 degrees. We truly had 80 degrees, and I've got a brother who lives in Washington, D.C., and a sister that lives in Boston, and they just got hit with this incredible storm. And I'm sitting here in 80 degrees talking about physical health and relationships this week. It's been a wonderful week, and I had Risa Ganell on my podcast, and I'm so excited, and I just want to thank Risa for all your time and energy and devotion to really sharing about our physical health and the things that we can do to really make our bodies and our minds really stand out so that our partners recognize how important we are to them. And as I think about connections, and I think about what I've done this week in order to connect to the important people in my life, what I think about is a couple of nights ago, I went and I shared an experience with both of my daughters. I have a daughter who's 19 and a daughter who, scary, actually is going to be 20 soon, and that's really scary. And my daughter Sarah, while we were sitting there waiting for the show to start, and I'll tell you about the show in a minute, but waiting for the show to start, she turned to me. She said something really, really horrible. What she said to me was, "Dad, do you realize that in a couple of days, because my daughter's turning 20 on February 21st, you'll have no teenagers anymore?" And I thought about that. She's right. And I did what I usually do. And I looked at her square in the face and said, "Don't you dare do that to me." It's sort of this ongoing joke that we've had. And my kids are just really important. And sometimes I get caught up talking a lot for the couples in the world about connections. But we don't want to forget about something. The connection with our children are so important. And I think sometimes what we forget about is that when we're caught up in the run-of-the-mill, day-to-day operation of the home, we forget when we're really upset with them, and we do get upset with our kids, that there's going to be a life after this. And please don't forget, when you feel really burnt out, and you've had one of those really awful days, and we have a day in which we basically just don't know if we can stand any more of the aggravation, don't forget that the interaction with that child right then and there is temporary. That there will be a time after they've left the home, and I get to experience that right now. And I took my two daughters to Gamage Auditorium. They do touring shows, and we saw Matilda. I don't know how many of you know what Matilda is, but Matilda was a video, a VCR video, as a matter of fact, that myself and my kids used to watch, and my daughters had it memorized. They had the scenes memorized. And as I'm sitting there, and the Broadway show came to town, And I decided I was going to get tickets for my daughter Rachel, who absolutely loves that show. And what she did, and what we did, is went out to dinner. We went to Peter Jungle, and we went to Peter Jungle and we had dinner. And then we went to the show. And as we're sitting there really enjoying each other's company, it was amazing to me. It was amazing that I was sitting there with my two daughters, enjoying this show, and knowing that after the end of the show, I was going to say goodbye. They'd get in their car and drive to their apartments. They both have apartments now. And I would drive home. And it was such a wonderful experience. We had so much fun. I really like my kids. And that's really a testament to all of us. And to have a family that's connected in that way is so important. And I want to really encourage all of you to have that kind of relationship with your wife, with your husband, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with anyone that you're in a relationship with. And don't forget the children. And this week, of all weeks, I've done a number of things. My wife and I have gone on hikes together in the morning, and here I am in this wonderful, wonderful house that I absolutely love. And I came home after work, my wife's still at work, and just sitting here thinking about my pool and my home. And I recall years ago thinking about what my future home would look like. And I had this image. And this image was not this great. It was an image of a small house, wife, two kids, working. And I walk into my home every single day just thanking my lucky stars that I could have a life that I love, a wife that I love, children that are growing up and going out in lives of their own. My daughter wants to be a vet. I have my other child is in nursing school. And that we really just get to enjoy our life. And that financially we're secure, they're healthy, I'm healthy, my wife is healthy. I have 4 parents who are still around in their 80s, and I thank my lucky stars every day for that. And really, really have a wonderful life. And so here I am sitting here, enjoying this life, enjoying the work that I do. I am so passionate about what I do. And I love it because I get to experience couples coming to see me who are just really at the brink of despair. And today is a perfect example. I saw a couple of couples today. And one of them has a horrible sort of trauma that they're trying to get through. And I spoke with the wife earlier in the week. She wasn't sure if everything was going to be okay. And she really wants it to be, but she's in so much pain. And we sat in my office today talking about their pain, but talking about the recovery of it, the healing of it, the way for the two of them to feel connected again, and that it's not a guessing game. We have a model to path, a pathway to the two of them really one day looking at each other, acknowledging their pain, acknowledging the need for healing, but saying, you know what, we did it. And if we could overcome this tragedy, we will be secure forever, because there's nothing that will be more painful than this, and nothing that will give us both such peace and security. Because if we can stay strong through this kind of pain, nothing will ever stop us from being in that kind of pain. And that pain and resolution of that pain is what I do every single day in my office. And that's why I love what I do. That's why every day I come home, I thank my lucky stars that my wife is in my life, that my children are healthy, and that I have a home like this. And one of the things I want to do tonight is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It's 80 degrees, as I said, but that doesn't make this water any warmer, because it's only been 80 degrees once or twice. And I'm going to jump into this water to show all of you that we can do whatever it takes, even if it's silly, even if it's sort of ridiculous. We're going to do something that you might be afraid of, because that water is going to freeze my butt off. But I'm going to do that to show that I can do things that I believe may make a difference. And I'm hoping this will make a difference for all of you, because who in their right mind would do this other than this couple's counselor, who is about to jump in to, and I think it's about 40 degrees. And there's something called the Polar Bear Club. I don't know if any of you know it. The Polar Bear Club is basically a club where people jump in water when it's like 20 degrees. But here in Arizona, it's not 20. But here I go. And then when I'm done, I'm going to run into my home and get warm. So I want to bid you all farewell. Have a great, wonderful weekend. Connect with your partners. Let them know they're important. And do what it's going to take to make a relationship that will have the two of you know how important you are to one another, and that you'll do what it takes to make sure they know how much you love them. So take care, stay connected, and now pray for me. We'll see ya. Swan dive. Oh, that's cold. Oh, that is cold. Oh. See you guys. Take care. Bye.